Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. On today's Tool Talk, I have this little guy in front of me. It is the Veritas standard angle block plane, and there's a whole lot of reasons of why I got this one, and so I'm going to address those in this video today. If you're new here and you like what you see at any moment in this video, please hit that like and subscribe button and let me know what you think in the comments down below. But for today, let's just dive right in on this plane. So today's video is on this little guy. It is the Veritas standard angle block plane, not the low angle. And I want to go over why I picked this over the low angle. But before I jump into that, I want to show you kind of how it comes packaged if you order this from leevalley.com. Alright, so this is the box that it will come in. Packaging paper. The blade is shipped separately in a container like this. And then you have your box with the plane in it. You have your instructions for both planes. The plane comes wrapped like this. That, and then there's a little thing in here just as a placeholder for the blade, so the blade's not bouncing around in there. This is the first one I ordered. This is the second one, and you're probably wondering why did I order two. So that is exactly what I want to go over. As you can see right here, there's a little chip out of the paint, and there's a few on the frame here and there and up here. It looks like it's just a seconds, basically. They have their second sale once a year. And then another thing that I noticed right off the bat, there's actually pitting in the casting. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but it is right along here. And so my first impression was actually kind of sad. You know, this is an excellent tool still as far as functionality. Everything is completely square. I checked everything for square, and it was great, but I was just a little disappointed in the fact that I had an already damaged plane. And I almost wasn't going to say anything, but I went ahead and shot their customer service an email just saying, hey, I saw the pitting and kind of the chips in the paint, and I sent them images, and I just told them, oh, also, when I received the blade and the holder, get this, and the holder was actually broke. The little plastic piece that holds this down just sheared off, and so this was just kind of bouncing around freely in here. Totally fine, it's plastic, it's not going to mess up the blade, but the holder is a little rendered useless, so I sent him a picture of that too. This is by no means a big deal. This just is something that's going to happen in shipping occasionally. It is what it is. Within 24 hours, though, I had not only received an email from customer service just thanking them, or thanking me for letting them know and showing images, and they had already sent me a new one on the way. And this is something that is very important when buying hand tools. Yes, I understand that Veritas is a very expensive company. They make very expensive tools, but with basically no questions asked, they sent out a new block plane. And with that, in a few weeks, this one came, packaged exactly how that one was, and all they asked is that I'll return it, and I will. But first I wanted to make a video just to kind of show you the expectations that you should have for a tool company that will back its name. The customer service, I have to go on a rant, or I guess it's a good rant, but they were amazing. And those are the people that always have to deal with complaints. So if you ever do deal with customer service, please don't just go off on them. They had nothing to do with any product that you received. They probably never even saw it. So go in with a mindset of that. They didn't do whatever was wrong with it. I tried to be kind with them, and as you can see, they were very kind with me. They immediately apologized, and they stand true to their name of the utmost quality in their tools. This one is very used because I've been working on a project that I will go over later in the video, but everything is completely ground flat. Checked everything. The squareness to the walls is perfect. There was no defects in it at all. And so with that, I got a new plane a few days later, and customer service was more than happy to help, and they thanked me for just being nice, I guess, just doing what everyone should do. If you ever go in guns a-blazing, you're not doing anything for you or them. And so I just really want to say a special thanks to Lee Valley's customer service. They did an impeccable job handling this situation, and I will continue buying Veritas tools purely just for that. And they have an impeccable tool. About the tool, I'm just going to break it down. Here is the cap. It is a screw with a pivotal little ring to apply pressure on the blade. The blade, this one in particular, is the 50-degree PMV11 steel blade. It was completely flat. I polished it just a hair right here, but really, really usable right outside the box. You can see everything is milled flat. It has the Norris style side to side and forwards and backwards movement. Comes right out. Super beefy, just plain body. And also it has an adjustable throat. All you do is unscrew this, and this can move forwards and backwards. So I want to go over the key features of this block plane that really set it aside from its competitors. And first off and foremost, one of my favorite features of almost all Veritas tools, they have these little set screws in the side of the plane. And what that does is when you put your blade in back from the sharpening stones, it is exactly where you left it. Has no play, and all it takes is a little tiny flathead screwdriver. Just pop it back in, tighten the cap back down, and you are ready to go. Moving on, the next feature that I really appreciate are these little handholds. And so from multiple different grip positions, my fingers just kind of fall right into place. So with my size hands, they line up perfect. I guess there's a little spot for your pinky as well, and it just feels really good. There's no gaps where my palm is between the cap So I just really have good pressure, which is good because this thing weighs a ton. It's real beefed up. And another thing to talk about is the front. As you can see, this, even fully extended, does not reach the front, and there's a reason for that. So with the toe not being able to fully extend flush past the front of the plane, it prevents it from inadvertently hitting the blade if for some horrific, horrible, terrible reason you drop it and it lands like this. It will not whack this back into the blade. So the next feature I want to go over with you on this is just another reason why I picked this plane, and it is its shoot ability on a shooting board. Just the ability to have these little holes, these little slots to grab, and this really fits. You can get a finger on there to just slide. And so I'm going to show you exactly what I mean right now. So I've got my shooting board set up, and my practice piece is going to be on a piece of very figured ambrosia, spalted ambrosia maple, just a cut off piece from a project that I'm working on, and I'll showcase that project here hopefully pretty soon. But I'm using this because I opted for the 50-degree angle blade, and with this set at a standard 20 angle instead of the low angle 12, I'm getting a 70-degree cut, so almost a scraping plane. And I just kind of want to show just how amazing it can do on this curl. And so just a really awesome feature about this is it's really great for shooting. This really hugs your hand right here in the palm, and this little jut out right here. So just wrap it. You're able to get your fingers in there. You can actually get kind of a curl on it, kind of like a rock climbing hold. And then this thumb really helps you get it planted. Another hold is having my fingers here. And so, put it up. So right there, I mean, look at the shine. See these nice little shavings for something very curly. I mean, it's perfect for finish right now. And so that is kind of why I got this, is doing figured stuff. I said it, I got this over the low angle, and this is why. I don't really have anything for figured woods. If I tried to use my low angle block, my Stanley, this would just be a terrible tear out of a situation. Now with the end grain, let's show you that now. I can only assume that it won't like that. Believe it or not, it is actually doing a really good job. As you can see, it's not very square, so it's taken heavy cuts here and hasn't reached where the blade did not like cutting it. But there is just another example of why I chose this plane. So now I want to show the capabilities of using it as a scraper plane to just kind of clean this face up. Alright, so I've got this piece of curly maple set up on my shooting board plane stop, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm getting pretty nice shavings for what it is, and already getting a sheen about it. Try to take a heavy cut and see what happens. So maybe that was too heavy of a cut, but I've made some veneer. Back it off just a hair. Clean up my veneer. Shaving. So truly just phenomenal finish for this little guy. So now that I've kind of shown you it in action, some things that I really liked about it, and just some of the key features, I'm just going to do just a quick run back over all of those things and then talk about my dislikes of this. There's always something to complain about, albeit not much with all of the tools that I've had from Veritas, but there are a few things that if I had the option I would change about it. So just to go back over it, really awesome idea of having these little grips in the sides. The side of the plane itself is great for shooting. It's square out of the box, it's pretty tall. The Norris style adjuster for all of the adjusting, lateral along with going forwards and backwards, really does great. And just to kind of show like how much it needs to move. So the blade is engaged, it's engaged, so not even, it's like an eighth of a turn of play. That is by far greater than anything else that I have that's not Veritas. Next is these set screws. Make it perfect for changing out the blades and just making sure that it is always going to be how you left it. The ability to adjust this forwards and backwards is really awesome, and as you can see, again, it cannot go all the way to the front, so if you do drop this, hopefully you don't, it is way less likely to hit the blade unintentionally by it landing on the front. This is the standard angle. It is set at a 20-degree bed angle, just so I could get the highest profile for planing figured woods. It is made from ductile cast iron, so it supposedly can't break, and I opted out for the PMV11 steel just because I really like how it sharpens as well as its blade retention. This blade is set at a 50-degree bevel, but it also came with a 25-degree, which is standard for their block planes. So some things I would change, or I guess complain about? Not really much. I guess my biggest complaint is this. So if you were to get the low angle version of this, it looks the same. Everything about it's pretty much the same, except where it's built up right in here, there's actually 2 threaded holes. What those are for is this thing. It goes in there, screws down, and then there's also a knob that goes on the front, and basically you turned it into a little baby plane. And I don't know why they wouldn't do it to this one if they do it to the low angle one. You're probably asking, well, it says it on the website that this is only for the low angle. Yes, I'm aware. I'm going to put this on the low angle, but it would be so nice to have this for when I'm doing figured woods and I can really just get a good grip on it when I'm trying to take long passes on, say, curly maple. But you are unable to. It's got the spots for it, like where it would be beefed up enough to put threads, but they just opted out to not do it. So Veritas, if you're listening, there's nothing wrong with the plane, but if you're gonna do it to the low angle and sell these, please do it to the standard angle too. I would just appreciate it. But that's not really its functional complaint at all. It's just making it even more practical than it already is. I guess I'm trying to think of things that if I could do differently, I would. That's really it. This is very hard as far as the finish. Maybe, I guess, put a stop where this could not run into the blade, but that's not really a complaint. It's just another suggestion. This is overall a fantastic block plane. I just remembered. With all nice tools comes the price tag, and of course you get what you pay for most of the time, so that's why this is such a fantastic tool without any complaints. But that price from Lee Valley's website right now, it actually has gone up. I guess because of the scarcity of these tools, they're never in stock, so if you can find them in stock and you're thinking about getting it, grab it, because they're very hard to get a hold of. This right now sits at $169, so $169 for a block plane. And you're probably thinking, you're crazy, why on earth did you do that? Well, I've told you why I got it, and I really think it's a fantastic tool that is going to last me a lifetime. If you haven't watched my videos on the Stanley Sweetheart series, they're a really awesome plane for getting into woodworking or a good plane on a budget, but the finish has already started to chip. There's a ton of play here. It's got slop side to side, and the adjuster is kind of finicky, and to just kind of bypass all of that, they just put a screw, so once you have it where you want it, you can lock it in and it won't wobble out of place. So again, you get what you pay for. That block plane is going to run you almost $100, so for $69 more you can get this. But if you were to choose the A2 option for, I guess, the competition of that budget Stanley Sweetheart, it would be $159. So if you were to compare this one to that, it's, I guess, $60 more. But that is it. So as always, I appreciate some constructive criticism, so let me know in the comments below what you think of the video along with the tool, and if you have it, if you've had any other situations with Veritas or Lee Valley and their customer service. I always try to sing praise to people that stand behind their product, and this is definitely a company that does. The customer service again was amazing, so thank you. Hopefully y'all can see this, but that is it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya.